Hello again, traders. This little bit, 15 minutes before the 1 hour break between the day session and when the afternoon session starts. And I had just got stopped out on that trade for 5 points. And one thing I failed to do, and I think I might call this like an Elliott Wave FOMC update, is this ABC was a good ABC. But it was an ABC of a wave 4. Because if we look over here on the 4 hour chart, it's pretty simple to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the end of the trend. So even though I have that picked right, I really wasn't paying as close enough attention to my longer term chart. Except that when I saw that much of a impulsive wave, I thought, well, it's going to keep going. But that impulsive wave was the last wave 5 of that trend. So therefore, we had an ABC of, this is the end of wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. Now, what am I looking for right now? Because I'm certain, because of how far down this has come, that this is doing a correction on the medium term chart, this 4 hour chart here. Typically, when you have a full trend and then a retracement, a lot of times the market will come back to about the extent of 0.4. So if it does that, then it's going to come down somewhere around here. And to kind of stress that point, or maybe make a little more strengthen that point from my theory, is that if you take this whole trend and look at the Fibonacci retracement, the 23.6 line is right down here. And so what I'm really looking for now, another thing you got to realize that when you start, all these waves in the longer term are obviously subdivided into smaller waves as you go smaller and smaller. What that means is I've got a 12-minute chart I'm looking at here, and we're 10 minutes before the hour break. So I have a 12-minute chart here, 1 hour chart there, and the 4 hour chart here. So we've got times 5 and then times 4. So this is 20 times the time frame as my 12-minute chart. So because I can see fairly good 1, 2, but I can definitely see a good 3, 4, 5 in this trend on the 4 hour. Then when I'm looking at the 12, I mean, look at this this wave 4 is all of this. So we have 5 and 4, 20 times the detail on the 12-minute chart as we do the 4 hour chart. So therefore, what I'm looking for, if this plays out the way I think it's going to play out, is I'm looking for an ABC off of this. Well, what's an ABC going to look like? Well, if it goes as long or longer than the wave 4, then I'm looking for a lot of detail in here. So I'm just going to look for the structure of this. This could be an a B wave would tip, and it may not be an A wave. You might see all 5 waves before it goes into the B. But if this is just kind of a quick A, and then it's going to work into a B, I would expect the B to be obviously an ABC, because a B wave is a 3-wave trend, right? So A, B, C for the B, somewhere up here, and then on down 5 waves for the C to end somewhere down here. So this afternoon, 5, 6, 7 o'clock, I'll be kind of keeping an eye on it. If I see a clear B wave and the B wave comes up here, then what that gives me is my stop loss would be up here close to the top, which is 7 points, but my target's close to about 23. So my risk reward is about 3.5 to 1 if that looks like a good B wave and it's going down to C. I've got about a 3.5 to 1 risk reward. That's a trade I'm willing to take every day as long as the structure looks right. But now that it's going to slow down and this thing kind of piddles around because the volume is going to be so low, then I have to see clarity in the next few hours, 4 or 5 hours, on this retracement, on this corrective wave. And if the B wave plays out and looks clean and clear, then I'll get back on. We'll go short, and I'll show you that trade. If it's not clear, I'm just going to let this thing roll overnight and see where we're at in the morning. But I will get back to you when I decide what it's doing.